Good afternoon, everybody. Can everybody hear okay back there in the back? We're going to call on Glenn Cantrell for the opening prayer. Glenn. Amen. Stand, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, be seated. All right, now for the Gary Harper Memorial Pick'em Contest, Kevin Selman. Oh my, you know what that means.
Yeah, we got a backup today. We need practice in case Kevin, is ever out. We want to make sure that we have we're too deep, right? We want to make sure the Touchdown Club is too deep. In week 4, we had 30 pick'em players. And the last man standing game of the week was Auburn at South Carolina. Only 5 out of 30 got it right. Chris Sullivan, Tim Player, Kelly Seawright, Wayne Jones, and Barry Drayson. Sorry, Dickie Smith, you did not get it right. But the beauty is there was a high school game that didn't play last week, so that means that no one can go 0-20, but I'm sure Dickie would find a way to do that. So. The upsets, according to our pick'em sheets, were Kentucky over number 18, Tennessee, Florida State over number 5, North Carolina, Wake Forest over Virginia, Liberty over Syracuse, and our Gamecocks were able to beat the Tigers. Now, let me rephrase that, the Auburn Tigers. When y'all get ready to play a real Tigers team, let us know. Maybe y'all play it later in the season. No, I'm afraid not. There are a few interesting picks according to this week. Y'all were good at the high school picks. 22 out of 30 got them all right. Are Barry Drayson and Jim Roberts here? Oh, there we are. Wave at our players and any coaches today we have from Crescent. As everyone else expected, well, almost everyone, Crescent defeated West Oak last Friday 21-8. Everyone in the room but you two guys got it right. Only 3 out of 30 correctly picked Kentucky to beat Tennessee. Chris Sullivan, Ralph Little, and Coach Dickie Smith? Must have been an error. As far as the breakdown, it was a great week for most all pickers. We had 6 players at 15-5, 7 players at 14-6, 7 at 13-7, and it went south from there. On to our loser of the week and our winner of the week. At 11-9, our loser of the week and the recipient of our custom-made porcelain turlet, compliments of Cobb Oxford at Oxford Farms, is Jim Mills. Jim, are you here? Okay. Jim, if you're not here, is Barry Drayson here? Hey! Let me take a picture real quick.
Can't have too many.
Yeah, take a picture. It's all right. All right. Now, if you haven't figured out why I'm up here, you're about to know why. We had 3 pick'em players at 16-4 last week. Scott Drake, Kevin Selman, and our president, Chris Sullivan. So we had to go to the points, and our $50 winner for the week and the second time this year is Kevin Selman.
Thank you.
Just to give y'all an idea of how this works, because he participates in the contest, Kevin does give a copy of his pick sheet to Nancy every week. He grades the sheets, and then I go behind them to make sure we have two sets of eyes on them to ensure that everything is, up and legit. Good luck on your picks this week, and try not to get called out and get embarrassed. Remember to like us on our Facebook page at Anderson Area Touchdown Club. Good luck to our players and coaches in the games tonight.
Congratulations, you guys. That Kevin, I don't know what to think about him. Did you mention who Dickie Smith picked for the Auburn-Carolina game?
He picked Auburn.
He did, okay. All right. Now, for that time that we all look so forward to every week, the players of the week, the coach of the week, the jokes of the week, none other than Coach Jim Frazier.
Thank you, sir, George. Happy to see my good buddy, David Bennett here. David, I hope you know that we moved our venue over here away from that library. We knew how uncomfortable you were over at that library. David said, what do they do with all these books around here? He went up to the librarian one day and says, give me a cheeseburger and a small fry and a milkshake. She says, hush, can't you see this is a library? He said, oh, I'm sorry. Give me a cheeseburger, a fry, and a small milkshake. I saw the very first game David coached at Coastal. He played Bill Bristol's alma mater, took him to the woodshed and whipped him. That would have been like 17 years ago. And David's always been a great friend of high school coaches, and we're happy to have him. So that brings us to our JV joke. So the man goes into a church office and said, is the head hog here, or is he out at the trough with the rest of the hogs? She said, sir, I assume you're talking about my pastor, and I resent this. Although he's pretty rotund, I resent it. He said, don't get excited, lady. So I got a check for $25,000 that I was going to give to the clerical staff for raises and upgrades. She said, wait a minute, I think I see old Porky now. So, George, we're going from the church now to the bar. The guy goes in the bar. It's a nice neighborhood bar. People sitting around, a good mahogany bar. A piano player over in the corner played his piano. A couple of people watched him. He's got a pet monkey that's cavorting around him on his shoulder and all. All of a sudden, the monkey climbs down off the piano, scurries across the floor, climbs up on the bar, scurries down the bar, and urinates in the guy's beer. He indignantly went over to the piano player and said, sir, do you know your monkey just urinated urinated in my beer? He says, no, I don't, but if you hum it, I'll try to catch up and play along. Almost did it, didn't I? Give me pleasure to present the players of the week. I think the player is Peter Zamora. He's a junior quarterback from West Side. Peter's 6 feet, 185 pounds. Last week in a 35-7 win over Walhalla, he was 13 for 23 for 218 yards and 2 touchdowns for the year. Peter has thrown for 617 yards and 5 touchdowns. So we welcome Peter Zamora. And with Peter, we have head coach Scott Early, and his parents, Diana and Pete Sabal. If y'all stand up, please. Offensive lineman is from Powdersville, Ethan Royal, a senior, 6'3", 250 pounds. Ethan plays right guard and right tackle. He graded out at 98%. He had 3 knockdown blocks. The offense had 254 yards rushing and 247 passing. Quick, David, is that over 500 yards? Just barely, isn't it? He gave up 0 sacks, and he was in on all scoring drives. As Powdersville beat Blue Ridge 62-20. Let's hear it for Ethan Royal. We've got co-defensive players. Our first one comes from Crescent. He is Elijah Ritchie. He's only a sophomore, 5'10", 195 pounds. He's a middle linebacker. He graded out at 82% with 12 tackles, 3 assists, 1 tackle for loss, and 1 sack. As Crescent beat West Oak 21-8. Our other defensive player of the week from Wren High School. Oh, I'm sorry. With Elijah, we've got head coach Sheldon Evans. We've got a principal here today, Chris Roberts. And we've got his parents, Charis and Chris Ritchie. Everybody standing up but Sheldon. I would like. Reed Morris is from Wren. Remember that state championship team last year? He's a senior, 6 feet, 200 pounds, linebacker. He had 21 tackles. Is that authentic? 4 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and 1 caused fumble. Wren run a real key game against BHP, 52-30. With Reed, we've got we've got head coach Jeff Tate, and we've got his parents, Catherine and Tim Morrissey. Stand up, please, Catherine. I didn't mention Powdersville.
Not the parents.
I thought I was on Reed. That's why I have to have everything on one piece of paper. I can't. I'm amphibious. I can't do both. I'm not amphibious. Where are we, Nancy? Huh? I didn't hear you.
Announced at Powdersville. The king of the Powdersville kid with Ethan.
Yeah, the Powdersville.
Okay, I'm sorry. We've got his granddaddy, Jesse Threlkill. We've got his head coach, Robert Mustar, and his offensive line coach, Ryan Norton. Stand up, please, granddaddy. Y'all have to forgive me. I need my 2 hands to hang on, and I've got 3 or 4 pieces of paper here, and I'm going back and forth. Palmetto sent us our defensive lineman of the week, Dawson Leslie. Dawson is 6 feet, 185 pounds. He's a hybrid defensive end and linebacker. He had 6 tackles, 2 assists, 2 tackles for loss, and a sack. Palmetto beat Southside at a very competitive game. Southside is pretty good this year, 42-30. Our coach of the week also comes from Palmetto, Doug Shaw. and y'all have heard this story many times, but Doug's daddy, Doug Sr., and myself coached the Sandlappers to victory in the 1976 Shrine Bowl. And that was a couple of years ago. And Doug Shaw Sr. was a great guy who left this earth too quickly. So Doug is in his 7th year at Palmetto. They are undefeated and they've clinched the region. And prior to Palmetto, Doug had coaching stints at Malden and Carolina. So we're happy to present Coach of the Week to Doug Shaw. With the Palmetto people, we've got Dawson's dad, Chris Leslie, up here also. I can't get the schedule, so y'all have to check. Okay, so the Hillcrest Hannah game has been postponed, folks. It will not be until in November. Crescent goes to Liberty. Powdersville goes to Southside. Here's a tough competitive game. VHP goes to Daniel. Palmetto goes to Carolina. Westside entertains Pickens, and Westside clinches the region championship, and Pendleton goes to Wren. So you go out and see a game of your choice. Thank you.
Good job, Coach. Congratulations, guys. Great job as usual, Coach Frazier. That monkey joke gets better every time he tells it, doesn't it? I don't know if it's the anticipation once he gets going. Anyway, to introduce our speaker today, we've got the athletic director at T.L. Hanna High School, Mr. John Mark Can.
Thank you, George Wayne.
It ain't
His
Wayne.
middle name. George Marion. My bad. It's really a pleasure for me to get to introduce David. David and I go back, and I got to looking around. You know, in this club, we hear a lot about Newberry College, Mr. Brissy and others. And I got to look around. There's about 12 Newberry guys in here, so I thought I would just add one little extra part to my introduction. Our history goes back 38 years ago in 1982 was the last time he and I dressed out together for PC. Now, I was a couple years ahead of him, and I'm just proud to say that Callie Galt handed me a hat called the Bronze Derby at the end of that game that the winner gets when they beat Newberry. So I just wanted to throw that in, Bill. That derby felt good, and I wish we still played for the Bronze Derby. That's another story. A couple things about David. At Catawba College, which is a Sac 8 school, been in the Sac 8 for a long time. It's what AU will join when they start football. Couple things there. 5-time Sac 8 Coach of the Year, 3-time Regional Coach of the Year, and then in 2010. Catawba actually put him in their Hall of Fame, which is a great honor. Then, of course, we know in 2003, started the program at Coastal Carolina, was there from 2003 to 2011. 4 times won the Big South out of those 9 years. 2 times was their Coach of the Year. And in 2006 was named the Spartex National Coach of the Year. And I was telling Nellie at the table when I saw this, I got to looking at it, how many head coaches you know ever in college football that can say they're the winningest coach at both schools where they were a head coach. David, that's pretty incredible. I don't know if anybody else can say that, so that's a great accomplishment. David now is a district athletic director down in Lexington One, and he's always been a natural leader. And I can tell you, he's got 5 high schools in his district. He's organized a coalition of district ADs in the state. He's included some of us also in that. We meet regularly. Now we do it on Zoom. We don't meet in person, just to bounce ideas about COVID and everything else. You know, just yesterday at 2 o'clock, I get the final call from Tommy Bell at Hillcrest. No homecoming game tonight. We have to move it. We're going to play the 6th. And it's, for all of us in the room, it's like that every day. You're one phone call away from completely changing what you think you're going to do that week. But David's been a leader statewide in that and does a great job with his group. We're always bouncing ideas off each other. And it's really an honor for me to introduce David Bennett, my brother.
Told John, be careful because I get the microphone after him. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. As when George Duckworth called me, I said, what, y'all had some COVID cancellations? Y'all must be hard up for a speaker. But I'm mighty honored to be here. It wasn't about a 2-hour ride after I crossed the dam. And I can look around this room, though, and see so many people that you just think the world of. You know, Coach Early was at Myrtle Beach when we were at Coastal, so we built a great relationship with each other. And a lot of people don't really know Scott Early. He really is a great guy. He's not always a horse's rear. He loves the kids. He loves the game. He just wants to beat your rear end. And God made him very competitive. And so you get some good coaching with Coach Early. Believe about half what he says, son, okay? If he gets on you, it's just because he loves you. I see Larry Lyles and his beautiful wife. Larry overachieved. He was on our board at Coastal when we got hired. I hate Luckadoo ain't here. I can't pick on Coach Luckadoo with how he looks, how his wife looks. He's a great recruiter, so tell him I said that. And to see all these awesome kids, Nelson Welch and Kevin Black. How about Nelson? You know, things come our way. Nelson used to be the leading scorer in Clemson history. I think he's 2 now behind Gardocki. We coached Kevin Black at Newberry College. He went into coaching at Greenwood, administration. And Nelly was a big dog with Adidas. He made so much money during COVID, they let him go, but they messed up. Because when they let him go, BSN just hired him. So now if he's been selling Adidas to you, I tell him that's the bronze medaling goods. Now he's got Under Armour and Nike. He's got the bronze, he's got the silver and the gold. If he's coming to you, y'all need to listen to him. And Kevin Black, those 2 guys on the BSN team, y'all both might need to have Early to keep him straight at Westside. And y'all double team him. I think about what Anderson's done in Anderson 5. You know, that you hired Tommy Lee Wilson, who's a good PC man. And what he's done for the kids and the community and all the schools. It don't matter if it's Pendleton, Crescent, it doesn't matter, Powdersville, Palmetto, Wren. It's bettered your facilities for your kids. And so what Tommy Lee's done, and hiring John Cann and hiring Scott Early, the people that they've hired for their kids, to me is just, he needs to be. Y'all need to get him here to come speak to y'all at the Touchdown Club one day. He's a great leader in our state, and we appreciate him. Coach Shaw, you know, his daddy and my coach, Coach Bernie Bourne, went each other head to head. They were like Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair, but then when the game was over, they'd come out of the locker room and put their arms around each other. And hopefully Hannah and Westside are doing that. And I see Coach Tate, who he might even be a Hall of Famer at Newberry. You might not have made it at PC, but I think you made it at Newberry. And I was so proud for Coach last year to win that state championship. and the kids. My older brother Jay's back here. Jay was a straight A student in the family. I love him now. I couldn't stand his rear end growing up. Because they'd always say, can't you make A's like your brother? I said, no. I made A's in PE and history. That's why I majored in history. All you got to do is memorize that stuff. And I couldn't wait to get out on the ball field. And so I enjoyed that. And I love athletics and I love kids. People say to me all the time, don't you miss coaching? Don't you miss being on that sideline? I said, but you know what? First Saturday in scrimmages, I was on 5 sidelines in one day. I started at River Bluff to White Knoll to Pillion to Gilbert to Lexington. I ain't real smart, but I figured out who started the earliest, and I was there early. Even if I saw 3 plays there, I got in the truck and hit the next one. So I love to help coaches, help kids. On riding up here, I was trying to help a girls golf player and a boy tennis player get scholarship offers because they're deserving. They're great kids. So what I realize, it ain't about me. What we get to do as coaches is help these kids. You know, and I thank this area up here for the movie Radio. I don't know how many of y'all watch that movie Radio. If you ever thinking you have a bad day, let me ask you this. Does your mother-in-law live with you? And does your mother-in-law have dementia living with you? Ours does. Coach Can's met Nana. Nelson's met Nana many a time. You know what Nana loves to watch? How about that movie Radio? So that sucker will play over and over again. I'll walk through, you want to watch Radio with me? I said, no, Nana, I done seen it. And John Can, I'll tell you something too, John educated me a little bit, Coach Frazier. I didn't know that Hollywood had come in and Hollywoodized that movie so much. But here's what I'm going to tell you. The awesome thing about it is they didn't have maybe the right coach and all that, but you're talking about Coach Frazier, Coach Jones, how everybody took care of radio. That's the great story. And that's what ought to be embraced. No matter how Hollywood told the story, it's a phenomenal thing in a phenomenal high school right here in this community. And so Anderson is a great place. You get to be by the greatest school in the state. It is. And I'm glad you had a Clemson man doing the prayer. Them Gamecocks are a little wishy-washy on their prayers. But I'm one of the few. I pull for the game. It's an awesome Sunday when South Carolina and Clemson both win. It don't happen often. But last Sunday was a great Sunday. I texted Coach Muschamp, congratulations with the balloons going in and confetti. You know, we got Coach Bentley on the staff whose son's 10th grade quarterback at River Bluff, so we want him to stay around for a while, you know. So we're happy for both of them. My older brother Jay, I don't think he'd pull for the Gamecocks against Russia. But he's got issues. Here's what I'd like to share today. And the message to everybody here, whether you're a father, mother, grandfather, grandmother, a coach, a player, a former coach, college professor, but there's 6 things I think we all need to get better at. And the first thing is that we love more. Don't be afraid to tell people that you love them. Because, hey, tomorrow it can be gone. You know, I'll never forget, Nelson, I used a bunch of prayers with you when you had that heart attack about, 4 years ago? 2 years ago? Lord, it seemed like 4 ago. Nelson had a quadruple bypass and made it through. And you're talking about appreciating the little things in life. He's got 3 awesome kids. You know, so we got to love more. Tell people you love them. You know, I'll never forget when my grandpa passed away, giving my father a big old hug and a kiss on the cheek. And I had an uncle, and he just kept staring at me. And I was like, why you keep staring at me? He said, you hugged your daddy, kissed him on the cheek, and told him you love him. I said, what's the big deal about that? He said, a lot of people don't do that. So I'm telling you, as you leave here today, don't be afraid to tell people that you love them. And give them a hug and tell them you appreciate them. We need to love more is the first thing. Okay? Love more. We need to encourage others. How many of you, if you get somebody, y'all sell cars right across the deal over here. I'm sure you got your top salesperson. Do those other people come and hug him and congratulate him or her? Because my son sold cars for 2 years, and the girl was the best salesperson they had, not no dude. Do they encourage each other and lift each other up? You get player of the week, you go back. People are going to tell you, great job. Somebody gets the player of the week next week. Encourage them. There's enough room out there for everybody to be successful. So don't be afraid to encourage other people and tell them job well done. The next thing is, I think we need more God in our life. If you've had enough, hey, my wife will read 3 devotions in the morning while we're having coffee. She'll make me turn down ESPN. She wants to watch the Weather Channel. She wants to read another devotion. One morning I messed up and I said, honey, how many devotions are you going to read? She said, how many is enough? I said, keep reading, honey. I don't think we can have enough God in our life. There's 2 songs that every time I hear them, I go, oh, I hear you, God. The new song by Zach Williams, it's called There Was Jesus. I don't know if you've heard it, but it was a neat story on it that he said, I want Dolly Parton singing on this song with me. They searched for her for 3 months and finally found her. Dolly Parton, she might be old as Coach Frazier. You and Dolly the same age?
I wasn't listening, I mean.
Okay. Hard for Coach to multitask. But they wanted Dolly on that song. When I hear that song, it gives me chills. There's another one by a group, and I just heard it 2 days ago. It's something about the words of a man, and it's phenomenal, and it's 2 guys dueling singing with background singers. I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I love the background singers better than the person singing. It's a powerful song. And every time I hear those songs on the radio, or sometimes like riding here, I played them a couple of times because the radio wasn't playing them. But we need more God in our life and shine his light wherever you go. The next thing is have a great attitude. When you wake up every morning, did you say, I got to go to the Touchdown Club, or did you say, I get to go? When I woke up this morning, and I woke up about 5:30, I think Coach Early and I were texting at 6:05. I said, come to your neck of the woods. He said, what, you speaking at Touchdown Club? I said, yeah. They must have had a bunch of cancellations. Coach Early said, come on up anyway. So I was excited to get up, have a cup of coffee, listen to my wife read devotion, get in the shower, help take care of Nana, and get on the road to come here and do a lot of phone calling, listening to music, and have 2 hours of just unbelievable time. So you choose that attitude. Just like you put on an orange shirt or you put on a burgundy shirt, you choose what you put on. We can choose our attitude every morning when we wake up. You get to play a football game tonight, I promise you. T.L. Hannah wishes they could play a football game tonight. So choose your attitude. The next thing is create a culture. Create a culture around you, whether you're in a school, whether you're in a dealership, whether you're in a recreation department, where you're selling sporting goods. Create a culture that everybody wants to be a part of. Here's what I love. Being our athletic director for our district, I love riding up and getting out of the practice, getting out the truck and listening. Not looking, just listening. Because you know what? You can hear culture. You hear it if it's good. You hear it if it's bad. And then I like walking out and looking and seeing it. And then I'm going to tell you what's going to happen next. You're going to feel that culture. You'll feel it if it's good, if it's just average, or if it's terrible. I love going to watch a good practice and hearing and seeing and feeling good culture. Because the coaches create that culture. And you kids in here playing, you know it. And you can help make that culture even better when you go back enjoying it. Don't take a day for granted. Just like Coach Ken got that phone call. We're not playing at 2 o'clock on Thursday. So don't take a day for granted. Create that culture. If someone's negative, try to help them out or get away from them. I don't know about y'all, but I don't like being around people that say I can't or we can't. Yes, you can. Create that great culture. And lastly, wake up. Just like I did this morning, texting Coach Early, 6:05. Wake up with a yearning to make a difference. Don't just go through the motions and be Joe average or she average. Do something different to help other people. So whether you go back to your family, your business, your school, have a yearning every day to make a difference, in the lives of others. Quit worrying about what's in it for me and think about what's in it for them. So you put all that together, the L for love, E for encouragement, G for God, A for attitude, C for culture, and Y for yearning. That's the word I think that we all need to think about every day, and it's legacy. What will your legacy be? What will your legacy be with your team? What will your legacy be with your family, with your corporation? What will your legacy be with the opposing team? Because see, when Westside and Hannah play each other, if Coach Can's talking to some of them Westside kids, man, you're a heck of a player, you had a heck of a game. Coach Early tells that to the T.L. Hannah kid, I hope it's a triple overtime game. Hope y'all go triple overtime. I know you don't want to hear that, but I hope you go triple overtime. Maybe quadruple. And y'all love and encourage each other, because guess what? You know what's amazing? Is to have someone come up to you 20 years later that was on an opposing team to say, I appreciate what you said about me, and you don't even remember what you said about them. So as you go through this life, you go through this day, don't take it for granted. Create a legacy and leave a legacy that people will remember you, and you help make people better for it. Coach Frazier left a legacy at Hannah. Now, that was a long, long time ago, but he left a legacy. I heard he was over there, Coach Can, at the volleyball match. When y'all playing our River Bluff girls, the volleyball coach hugged Coach Frazier. Coach Frazier wouldn't let her go for a while. Isn't that the story? He still goes back on the campus of T.L. Hannah, and they know who Coach Frazier is. So don't waste a day. Every day we get to leave a legacy. What will your legacy be? Thank y'all very much. Y'all got any questions? Anybody? Sir George Duckworth said, y'all, we got time for questions.
The last time you came up here, you flew on a jet. Why didn't you fly on a jet this time?
Coach Brissy, I'm not the head coach at Coastal anymore, so we don't have access to that plane. Coach Brissy gave us a picture from, it looks like about 15 years ago. I tell you what we love 03 to 2011. We try to find our open date weekend to come up here and speak. One year, my wife and I came without the kids, and we went to, what's the name of the place up there? Grove Park Inn. Y'all ever been there? I ain't never been nowhere like that. I mean, we went and had an outdoor couples massage, and one of the tables was heated, and one of them wasn't. And you know which table I took, the one that wasn't heated. It was pretty brisk up there in November. Thank goodness we got to go to that spa afterwards, and that's a great place to take your wife. I was like, man, this place up here is high cotton. But the Anderson Touchdown Club, and thank y'all for keeping it going, and thank y'all for honoring these kids, because that's what it's all about, and honoring the coaches. And that was a cool thing, too, calling around. I shut the office door for 2 weeks trying to find out what coaches were paid across our state. And I wanted to help get our coaches a raise within our school district, because we're very proud of our academics, we're very proud of our arts, and we want to also be proud of our athletics. And so we weren't top 25 in paying our coaches in our district. And our superintendent, who is a phenomenal guy, he's a former basketball coach, so I love former coaches. They get it. And he pointed down to number 10 in the state. He said, we're not going to get to number 1, but what if we get right there, Coach? I said, that's better than where we are. We ain't even in the top 25 right now. So it's great to help our coaches and help our kids. And don't take a day for granted, guys. Don't take a day for granted. Any other questions?
As I was putting your bio and your picture on our club Facebook page, when I was Googling it, every article that I could come up with you was talking about the dogs and the cats. Can you recreate that?
Hey, look here. Somebody asked me, you ever get tired of that dogs and cats deal? I said, not really. The whole thing is, it's about what's inside. You know, like you watch a cat be licking itself. They're going to worry about one sleeve on here, one long sock, one short sock. Any of y'all do that? Hate to step on your toes, fellas. Team dress alike. I saw a middle school team the other day. They had 49 guys on the middle school team. They all had gray socks, high to the top. I looked at the coach, I said, yeah, man. So it's about, that dogs and cats deal is about what's inside. Quit worrying about how you look on the outside.
Your destination is on the left.
Sometimes, see, you might have, stay away from cats right there. But it's about what's on the inside. You know, it's crazy. About 2 years ago, I got a call from a company in Des Moines, Iowa. And they said, that's our motto. We need more dogs. And they want to know would I come to the end of the year banquet and speak. And I said, sure. And they said, how much you charge? And I told them. They said, sure, we got you. Come on. I said, I should have told them more. But yeah, that whole thing is, you know, it is what it is. It was a true story that just, heck, it is what it is. But quit worrying about how you look. You know, quit worrying about all them bands and what kind of socks you got on. And it drives me crazy to see a football player and it's 82 degrees and they're wearing tights underneath their breeches. Coach, you got something to do that? No, sir. Coach Can, when y'all play again, I know you're going to be checking them out, see what they're wearing. Any other questions? No? Thank y'all very much.
Great job, Coach. I tell you, sure is good to have you back up here. It's been several years since you've been here, and you've always been one of our favorites. And this year's been so unusual with all the COVID and everything. We couldn't get any good speakers, and so. No, you're one of our favorites. Thank you so much for being back up here. All right, I want to acknowledge all our sponsors here. We couldn't do all this without them. Granger Nissan, Roger Cox is here with us today. They provide the meals for the athletes and the coaches. Dillard Sports for the T-shirts for the weekly winners. Dillard's Trophy for the weekly winners plaques. Ryobi, boy, I tell you, it's really nice to get Coach of the Week now with a nice gift from them. Harris Flooring, Video Streaming, Ralph Hayes Toyota, Palmetto Insurance, and Blake and Brady Boutique, Bill Brissy, the printer, and Cobb Oxford. Appreciate all that. Next week, we've got a fellow I've been trying to get for 2 years now. He's NCAA referee, Riley Johnson. And unless he gets a last-minute assignment, we're going to have him next week. So everybody have a great weekend. See you back next Friday.